Good morning, students. Today we have to study about the metals. So let's start with the class. First, we will see the differences between the metals and non-metals. So metals are, on the basis of physical state, metals are generally solid in nature, whereas the non-metals are found in all the three states. But exception is there for the metals, like mercury is found in the liquid state, and the gallium also above 30 degrees Celsius it will turn into liquid state, whereas non-metal is found in the solid state, gaseous state and liquid state, like hydrogen, chlorine. These non-metals are found in the gaseous state. Okay, bromine is the non-metal found in the liquid state, coal is the non-metal, or carbon is the non-metal found in the solid state. Metals are generally heavy, but except certain metals like sodium, potassium and magnesium, they are light, whereas non-metals are generally light in weight. Then metals are hard and non-brittle, so they can be beaten into sheets. So metals are malleable, whereas the non-metals are hard but it is brittle, so when they will be hammered they will break down into pieces. Exception is the soft metals are sodium and potassium and lead. These are the soft metals. Okay, metals are good conductor of heat and electricity, whereas non-metals are bad conductor of heat and electricity. Exception of metal which is a bad conductor or poor conductor of heat and electricity is the lead, and exception of non-metal which is the good conductor of heat and electricity, that is graphite. Metals are ductile in nature. It means they can be formed into wires, and they are malleable. It means when they will be hammered or beaten, they will be turned into sheets, whereas non-metals are non-ductile and non-malleable. Then there is, on the basis of melting and boiling point, metals will have a high melting and boiling point, whereas the non-metals will have low melting and boiling point. Then metals are generally producing the ringing sound on collision. So on this basis, this property is known as sonorous. So metals are sonorous in nature, whereas non-metals are non-sonorous. It means they will be, when they will be beaten, they will not produce any ringing sound. Then metals are generally luster. Luster, it means they have a shine, like gold, silver, they have a specific shine, but the non-metals are non-lustrous. So these are the certain difference between the metals and non-metals. Now we have to see the corrosion in metals. So what is corrosion? Corrosion is the gradual destruction of material, usually metal, by the chemical reaction with its external environment. Okay, so we see the rusting of iron, that is formation of iron oxide. Then rusting of aluminium. Aluminium also reacts with oxygen present in the air and it will form aluminium oxide, that is Al2O3, because aluminium is active metal and the oxygen of the air is also active, so the both will react to form aluminium oxide. A layer of aluminium oxide will be formed over the surface of the aluminium, so that layer will be known as rust. That layer will be known as corrosion. This is known as corrosion. Copper also, sometimes you have seen in your house, the utensils made up of copper is having the greenish deposit over it. So this greenish deposit is actually the copper carbonate. So in the presence of moisture, the carbon dioxide of the air will combine with this copper and it will form copper carbonate. So this is also an example of corrosion. Lead also gets moist. When it is exposed to the moist air, it will form a white deposit over it on the surface of the lead. So what is it? Lead carbonate, that is PbCO3. Okay, here is one example of the picture showing the corrosion. Okay, now next we have to see is rusting of iron. So it is a very pictorial diagram I have inserted over here. This is iron. Okay, this iron in the presence of water and oxygen of the air will form rust. So rust is what? Iron oxide. So these three conditions are essential for rusting: iron, moisture, and oxygen of the air. And the formula of the rust is what? Fe2O3.XH2O. And rust is a reddish brown powdery structure formed on the surface of the iron. Now here is one activity, a small activity to see what are the conditions required for rusting. So we have taken 4 test tubes. Test tube A, test tube B is there, test tube C is there, and test tube D is there. In the test tube A, we have taken only iron nail. Okay. In test tube B, we have taken boiled water and iron nail. In the test tube C, we have taken iron nail is there, boiled water is there, and layer of oil is there. And in test tube D, iron nail is there and tap water is there, and it is not covered with any layer of oil. Now let's see. In test tube A, only iron nail is there. So air is there, iron is there, but moisture is not there. Okay. In this case, the second case, that is B, when the water is boiled, whatever would be the dissolved gas, that will remove out. Okay, that will escape from the water. So iron is there, moisture is there, but oxygen is not there. So there will be no rusting in this case also. In this case, we have taken iron nail is there, boiled water is there, so moisture is there, and on the top there is layer of oil. Even though it will have the oxygen in the air, but this water with air is immiscible liquid. So this oil will form a layer over the water, and that is why this oxygen will not be made available to the iron nail. So that is why again there will be no rusting. But in case D, all the conditions are fulfilled. Iron nail is there, moisture is there, and oxygen from the air above the water will get dissolved and made available to the iron nail. So this particular nail in test tube D will rust. So these three conditions are essential for rusting: iron, moisture, and oxygen. Now let's see how we can prevent the iron from rusting. There are different methods. One of the method is painting. Okay. In this painting, a layer is added over the iron surface. Advantage, it is cheap, and disadvantage, it can be scratched off easily. And where it is done in the bridges, ships, fences, car bodies. Okay. Then coating with plastic. It lasts long, it will look good, but it is more expensive than painting. And like example is coat hangers, paper clips. Then the third method is by oiling and greasing. Oil and grease will form a layer over the surface of the iron, so the oxygen and the moisture will not come in the contact. In all these three ways, what we are doing, we are making a layer over the surface of iron. So when we are making the layer over the surface of iron, we are cutting the contact of oxygen and moisture over the surface of the iron, and this is how it will prevent rusting. Okay. Disadvantage is not once and for all. It means after doing once, you cannot think that rusting will not occur, and dare to stick to the oil or grease. So basically it is done with the moving parts of the machine and woodworking tools. Now we have to see another ways of prevention from rusting. So one of the way is galvanization. So what is galvanization? In galvanization, a layer of zinc is made over the iron surface. Okay. Then the another method is electroplating. By the help of electricity, the copper, nickel or chromium can be coated on the surface of iron with the help of the direct current. Then there is tin plating, that is coating of tin or iron over the surface. Then cerradizing. In cerradizing, it consists of dusting of zinc powder on the surface of iron followed by heating. And then The last is the cladding. You must have seen the Qutub Minar, and this Qutub Minar is rust resistant in composition. And how it is rust resistant? Because there the iron is mixed with higher percentage of phosphorus. Okay, so this presence of phosphorus prevents it from rusting. So it has not rusted for the last 800 years, and you can understand how advanced our Indian chemical engineers were. Then now we have to see the uses of metals. So the first metal we have to see is gold. Gold is shiny yellow metal, like you are observing in this picture. It is highly malleable, it is resistant to corrosion, and it is good conductor of electricity. So that is why it is used in the electronic devices. When it is shiny and corrosion free, so that is why it is used for making ornaments and coins. It is also used in dentistry, that is filling of teeth. Now next is silver. Silver is grey color metal, off-white metal, lustrous metal. Okay, and it is also highly malleable and ductile, and the best conductor of electricity. It is used for making jewelries. It is used for filling teeth cavity. It is used as a purifier of water. It is also used in electroplating, photography, sweets covering. On the sweets you must have seen silvery paper. And then it boosts our immunity, which is much required these days. Next is iron. Iron is the most useful metal for all of us, and we are using it from the ancient time. It is used for making pipes, tanks, cylinders, agriculture tools. It is used for making machines, power transmission towers. You must have seen the different power sectors. Transformers simply. It is made up of what? Iron. Then utensils and cutlery in your house, in your kitchen, is also made up of iron. Then next is copper. Copper is the reddish brown metal, highly ductile. So highly ductile, that is why can be formed into wires, and a very good conductor of heat and electricity. So that is why it is used for making electric wires, for making coins and statues, and electronic devices. Okay. Next is the aluminium. It is the most abundant metal, aluminium, and second most useful metal after the iron. So it has a variety of use. It is silvery white in color. You are observing here, it is silvery white in color, and it is malleable as well as ductile, and it is the good conductor of heat and electricity. So it is used for making cans, foils, kitchen utensils, window frames, aeroplane parts. Okay, then electrical transmission lines, for telescope mirrors, decorative paper, packaging, and toys are made up of aluminium in your surrounding. Then next is zinc. It is bluish white metal, and it is neither malleable and non-ductile. It is also not ductile. So it is used to galvanize the other metals such as iron to prevent it from rusting. It is also used for die castings, okay, which is useful for the automobile industry, for making alloys like brass and bronze. It is also used in making the dry cells, okay, and galvanization. Then next is mercury. The symbol of mercury is Hg. It is a silvery white metal found in the liquid state, okay, and it does not moisten the glass. It can expand and contract even with a slight change in temperature. Therefore, it is used in making thermometers, barometers, batteries, pesticides, mercury vapor lamps, and many more. Then tin, the symbol of tin is Sn. It is the silvery white metal and it is highly malleable but non-ductile. It is malleable but it is not ductile. Okay, so it is used for making cans, to keep the foodstuffs, especially grain. Okay, then utensils, like here you can observe it is used for making utensils. Then tin sheets for roofing, tin coated iron sheets for making the boxes and the container. Also in the soldering purpose also this tin is used. Then the uses of magnesium. The symbol of magnesium is Mg. It is used for fireworks. You are observing here, this is fireworks. So magnesium is having a great role in providing the dazzling light. So fireworks for the formation of magnesium and duralumin. It is very important for your health also. Then the next metal is the lead, and it is lustrous and very heavy silvery gray metal. It is used for making storage batteries, sanitary pipes, okay, tips of bullets, tin ropes, fusible alloys, paints, petrol, cigarette, pesticide, soldering, ceramic glaze, smelters, televisions, computer monitors, batteries, explosive, pewter, pipes. All these are made up of lead. Now next is platinum. Platinum is lustrous, okay, and a very precious metal like gold. Platinum too does not react easily with the other substances, so that is why it is used for making the jewelries. So it is used in the automobile industry as catalyst, in the jewelry, wire, electrical contacts and laboratory vessels, expensive watches because it does not tarnish or wear out. Then sealed electrodes in the glass system. It is used as a food missile, nose cones, jet engine, fuel nozzles, etc. Then the last metal is the tungsten. The symbol of tungsten is capital W. It is shiny gray metal and it is found solid at the room temperature. It can withstand the high temperature because it has high melting point among the metals. So tungsten is having the highest melting point. Okay. Then it is used for making electrodes, heating elements, electric bulbs, filament, okay, in making heavy metal alloy, for cutting tools, and in mining industry. So this is all for the syllabus. Till here it will come in your second unit test. Thank you, students.